Welcome back. Today I'm showing you how to build a live chat for a skincare company from start to finish. This widget will sit on a company's website and handle three things. It will answer FAQ questions, it will process returns and check delivery updates. I'll build it step by step in Chat Builder so you can see how to set up a real life example for a business. Let's get started. Is go to Agent Builder. We want to then create a workflow. And if you've not seen my previous videos, I encourage you to go back as they're super beginner friendly and it will help you kind of get the basics of Agent Builder. So what we want to do is now create a workflow. We're on the familiar blank canvas to create our workflow or our agent chatbot. And what we can do is go into our agent node and then we'll have to set it certain instructions for it to categorize the user's query and store it as a variable. Again, for this example, I'm going to use ChatGPT and just giving it some instructions and giving it objectives. So the objective is to categorize. So if I just take all of this up until check delivery status and put it in as instructions. So I'll just have a final check of it. So we've got our FAQ classification logic, classification FAQ, process returns, and I'll just classify as returns. You don't need to do process. And again, for check delivery status, classification can be just delivery, which is fine. And also just need to add in the logic for to understand customer messages and classify them accurately into one of the following categories, and also store user input. Save. Now that we've given our agent instructions, we need to specify what output we want the agent to format its response in. So we need to go to the output format, we need to set it to JSON, and then we need to add schema, to add property, leave it as a string, and we want to set the property value to be category. And we also need to set another property called user input, and then if we just update it, now we've created our response schema. Now we can just go ahead and name our agent as classifier and just test our agent. So the user input, as is a skin company, someone that's coming to the website might have a query about maybe their acne. So they might say, I have mild acne or something like that. So the classifier started, and there you go, the category is correct as FAQ, and the user input is stored as well as I have mild acne, which will be good to use later to kind of recommend the customer a product which is in stock. We need to add a bit of logic into our workflow to distinguish between the user requests. So if the user wants information about a cream, it needs to go down the FAQ section. If it needs information about the delivery, it needs to go down the delivery agent. And if it needs information about the return policy or returns, then it needs to go down to return agent. So if we add in the if else logic block, and from this logic block we then need to enter the condition. So if the category is equal to FAQ, and then we also need to add in a second condition where it's equal to return, and then the final condition where it's equal to delivery. And once we've done this, we can then connect agents from here. So the agent going into our FAQ, we then got an agent going into return, and then we've got another agent going into the delivery. And else I'm just going to end it, but you can add logic into there. It will end the call or end the chat gracefully. But I'll just reference it as end. So now we have to build this agent out and give it some instructions. So the name I've given the agent is FAQ agent, and the description is you're a skincare FAQ assistant. When the user asks about a skincare concern or a product, they need to go search the vector store, which is their internal database. You can also even add your website, so it goes web crawls your website and provides the customer with the products necessary for their treatment or any sort of user query they have. So just for testing purposes, I've created a doc where I've uploaded it as in the vector store. It's just a Word doc with about 10 products. One of them is a acne product that a customer can use. So it goes and retrieves that data. And all you have to do is select tools, select file search. I've already created the vector store for it. So all I need to do is select from the vector store, go to the vector store, and then select the ID. So this is, I've called it catalog. So if we go back to the agent builder and then paste in the ID, it should then find it. I've not named it anything useful. So I select it. So now you can see here, it's got data from my store or the skin company store, and it can recommend the user with products that it had a query on. So now if we test this agent and workflow, we could go to preview, and then if you just go as a user request, I am starting to get acne. It then goes through the classifier, and now it's at the FAQ agent, and then it's provided us with all the 10 products, which is not correct. So I've gone back into the agent instructions and just mentioned to identify 3 items from the user query to be more specific. So now if we do preview again and just test it out again, so I've got acne. So I've got acne. It then went through the if-else statement and then through the FAQ agent, and then it's supplied us with 3 products, and it's given a little description on targeting acne and specific to the user query. So I've gone ahead and created instructions for the return agent and the delivery agent too. And at this stage, you can be very specific within your company policies on what the agents can and cannot do. So you can be very specific in the details of this agent, so they're giving out the right information to the users. We can now test our final 2 agents. So if you go to preview and say, I want to return a product, then go through the classifier then will put it through to the return agent, and the return agent has replied back, I'll be happy to help you with the return, please could you provide a bit more information, and gives a kind of returns policy as well, so it gets this from the vector store or any sort of information or instructions you provide it. And then if we finally test the delivery agent, so I want to know where product is. So I want to know where my product is. Then goes to the classifier, and then goes to the delivery agent, and then the delivery agent comes back and says, I'll be happy to help you with your order. Could you please provide your order number? Once I have that, I'll be able to check the status and let you know where your product is. So that's a complete chatbot for a skincare brand. It can answer questions, manage returns, and track deliveries in seconds. If this has helped, please subscribe and like, and there'll be more videos coming. So see you at the next one.